Okay. Golly. Hey there and hi there. Save this or not. Put some glasses on to hide. Woo. Gracious and goodness. Oh well. It's a human thing. Inside this lamp over there that I need to control my emotions and manipulate the properties of too much. You know, stuff like that. Certain times. But anyway. At least it's only lamps and not people or any living things. Never. Better? Okay. My ODD, obsessive dum-dum, you know, feels better now. Medication helps, but still, you know. So, since it's cold and rainy today, outside, I'm not going to go be setting 10-foot metal galvanized metal fence posts. So, I was sitting at the piano a while ago, and I'm not doing as much with it right now because it's out of tune again already, because I'll leave my windows cracked because I like airflow and stuff, which makes the piano go, you know, the strings go. Anyway, there are these two keys that are two different note keys that have the same shape. So for visual people like me, it makes you think, how can I connect those, and what can those do together, if anything? Because my eyes pick up on them for being that shape. And those are these L-shaped ones. L for Larry! Except they're backwards L's, I guess. Yep. And then the B. See, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Again, see, it starts over. And then it goes B, C, D, E. So it's E. Well, if you're playing something, if you start on that one, you're going to be in E. Or you can be in E minor. Or it's just if you lower the third note in the scale, and if that's the key you're playing. See, 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the fourth note. No, 1, 2. Lower the third, right? Or that's counting the first note. That's the fourth. Lower the. Anyway, that one. Hard to be my own cameraman. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would be the third note. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, not counting the half step there because. Frustrating. Anyway, so yeah, but if you start here, yep, you're still going to be sounding like you're in E, not in B, because B is like this. B is this key. See, even more smoothly when you don't let the caffeine affect your fingers as much. You got to think about it though. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so those are the same shape. See? And that happens to be then the most obviously in the key of E. Okay. So, you know, when you're bored and sitting around and you have to do something besides the same old something, you look at patterns. You look at patterns and try to do something with them, like this. Oops. When you hit the right keys that you mean to hit. Hold on. Gotta have your tea also. Or at least I do. See? That's the E, B, E, B, E, B, E, B, E, B. Can't go that high in the voice. Don't want to get started on that. Anyway, so like, what do you else do that? You can go up, not as much. Anyway, but a while ago I did it a different way I never had before. I taught with right and the left fingers. If you're playing one finger style anyway, I guess. Kind of like I started out doing when I was a kid. The first thing I learned how to play was a Do Re Mi song, because I saw my cousin Becky doing it when we were kids. She started playing before she even got in school and started reading music before she even started reading words. But anyways, so but I played with one finger because I started figuring out by ear. My mom, she was still alive. She passed away in 1970. So this was pre-1970 in the 60s when I was still like, before I even got in school probably, because I was like at home. And unless it was summer, I don't think it was, you know, I didn't start taking piano until second grade. But anyway, it was like, and she was in, the piano was in our den, downstairs den. We had a split level house. It was downstairs. The den was on the lowest level, the lowest level, first level on the side of the house, where because the street, the front of the street went like this, and the side street went like this, and then there was the main level, then the upstairs level. But anyway, so the piano was in the den by the first little staircase that went up to the main level, and then in the den, you know, in the side door, it's the den, and then the utility room was over there, off of the garage that was connected to the house. Then we had a backyard with another garage back there. We called that the back garage because it was on the other side of the house, on the other side of the yard, and it wasn't connected to the house. Anyway, but she was over there ironing, you know, and I'm over here on the piano. This old piano that she made sure we had in the house, a piano. It was like called a Mondello or something like that. And it was an upright, and it had a mirror up here. Good for what it was. And it stood up to the Larry test, breaking hammers and putting them back together with Elmer's glue and soda straws. But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, first song I got off on this for some reason. Played, but she wouldn't help me. That was my point. After I got off on that subject, I said, "Mom, how does that go? That big song, Betty?" She was like, "I don't know. She played like first chair in violin in college, you know, and played the glockenspiel in the marching band. So marched around and played these dang things, hitting the hammer with the correct notes, and while marching, and you know, she could help me. But anyway, for whatever reason, she didn't think it was better for me to try it myself, and she could see how much, you know, I had for music and whatever that word is. But anyway, so I was like, you know, and so forth and so on. But anyway, so one finger style. So well, I did the E-B song. I guess I'll call it that, you know. Like that. And that's if I start with the right hand. Or did I start with the left? Yeah. Now if I start with the right, I end up with that, or that's vice versa. I don't know, I'm dyslexic, so let's try this. So if you start with the left, you end up with the left, which kind of looks kind of cool because you're reaching over going like that in the last note. But if you start with the right, you end up with the right. Man, that's a good way to remember it. No, wait a minute. Okay, so if you start with the right, you end up with the left. So let me start with the left. What am I doing wrong? Start with the left. End up with the left. Start with the right. End up with the right. Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay. So, but what do you do after that? See, so you can keep doing other stuff off of that. More interesting. Go into something more interesting. But you can go two directions basically. Start doing stuff in a major key or a minor key, because it doesn't matter, because both of those notes are in E major and in E minor. So whichever you go into doing something in E major or E minor, it's going to sound like, see, Haley agrees. She said, rap, rap. She said, and it's going to sound, well, you know, Haley, okay. It's going to sound right coming out of that. And it's going to make your mind go, oh, without you knowing why. It's going to make your mind go, oh, that. So like this. So far, that's E major. Well, it could be E minor too, because it depends on if you put that that G sharp or the regular G. I think they call it G natural. Yeah. So if you go like this. Whoops. Okay, it'll be an E major. But if you go like this, you just lower that 1/2 step. A half is basically between the distance between the white note and the black note. Unless there's no black note between it, like between the B and the C, and then it's still, then that is a whole step, if I remember correctly. If I don't have it backwards in my head. But see that you got a black note between these two white keys, but you don't between these two white keys. So anyway, let me explain that real quick. Or you could go. That's E minor. But if you want to, keep it more happier sounding, you keep it in E major. Or don't play that one and just whatever. And so anyway, without me ever taking any real theory, any amount of theory, even though I took piano as a kid in public school for 8 years. 7, and then one more sort of at home with that last piano teacher that I didn't click with. I had the last 2 years, which is why one of the main reasons I stopped. Besides I learned to play guitar and would rather play Tad Nugent at the time, Cat Scratch Fever, and communication breakdown and whatever. Anyway, so that's that, and but it's something to do, which started to say a while ago, the piano was out of tune again. I've had it tuned twice by this old guy. He does a really, really good job. Take it apart. But that's one thing about having a real piano. You got to keep them tuned, because it's a real instrument with real mechanics, unlike an electronic one. And like a guitar, so and they're real subject to changing, the tension on the strings, that make the note, they're real sensitive to temperature changes, especially with humidity. And I like fresh air and not stale air. It's more healthy for you. And I usually almost always keep a window cracked, even if I have the AC or heat on, even though it costs me a little bit more money. That way I keep some fresher air coming in and out, circulating, moving through one window to the next, so forth. Anyway, okay, so, oh yeah, so if I play anything more than a couple, 2 or 3 notes, it's more obvious that the piano's out of tune. It makes my ear go, damn it. Time to get dude back, but I don't have $175 yet, 125. At least very reasonable for an old guy that's been doing it for decades. Highly recommended by the man who sold me this piano at Metroplex Piano, who's done nothing for a living since he got out of the service in the 60s, besides teach and sell pianos. And still does it today. Had his own personal piano tuned by this guy, and they didn't get along personally. They had personality conflicts, so that says a lot right there. But, and he would still be doing it if piano teacher, seller man didn't live in Richardson, and piano tuner man lives in Fort Worth. But anyway, so. See? I like to do a few different, that's called a Joyous formula. I learned when I was a kid, and I've already thrown the extra notes. The other one is, another type of signature I do it out of boredom is like this. It's kind of like, yeah, if I was from Ireland, this is how we play it. And then if I was a big neck, I'd go like this. So they'd like, come on, man, come on, daddy, old, play it more steppy like, you know? I'll be going like this. I'll be like this. Then I like to come off of that and do Color My World by Chicago, which I love. I've loved ever since it came out in the 1970s when I was a kid. And I don't know what F demented chord that is, but it's one of them. Demented, demolished, I don't know. It doesn't matter, it's cool to the ears. But this you can really tell it's piano's out tune. And there's one note that I don't know correctly in this song, but I haven't been I got the music to it too. It's more or less like I figured it out by ear when I was a kid, except for the left hand. I learned it pretty much right by the music finally, since I took the time to a couple of years ago. But the right hand is basically like, that's why, well, like I figured it out when I was a kid by ear in the 70s when I was in grade school. But there's one, it's the note in the left hand's going dun dun that I don't do right. That I know I just got to take the time to go. It's that damn one that I hear in my ear, that I hear in my head, and that I hear when I hear it really on the damn when I hear the studio, the real recording of it, that I need to fix. Anyway. Well, that's even better. The way I messed up just now is still going. Like the flute does at that. Like the flute does on the end of that song. It's one of those diminished things or something. But not demented. Okay. All right. Hope you all enjoyed that. I'll stop now, okay? Thank you, Lord. Thank God, amen.